Jesus walking on water. Jesus walking on water. Now, this is very much a spiritual message for God's people, God's chosen people, and people who truly God has interest in. Everybody else, this is just truly not for you. I'm going to be very real. Doesn't matter who else you are hearing this. But anyhow, yeah, Jesus walking on water. I mean, this is a real matter. I mean, I already really know about this stuff, and certain of you individuals may somewhat know too, but you may get certain newer revelation concerning this, and all glory to God and all glory to the real Jesus. Excuse me. And I'm referring to the black Jesus as well, concerning Jesus walking on water. I'm not talking about any other anything else. That's all I want to say. Any other, I want to say Jesus. No, I'm talking about black Jesus, Yeshua. Yeah, he truly did walk on water. And this applies to his people as well. I'm being very real, but I also have some information concerning this too. I do. And but I'm going to overall be led by the Spirit concerning other matters and other revelation, all that deep stuff. But it even talks about too how Jesus truly walked on water. You know what I'm saying? He was walking on water, you know what I'm saying, across the Sea of Galilee to his men, And, a lot of these, certain followers who were following him had doubts and all that deep stuff too. And, it's more understandable, concerning, Jesus, first coming to them. And, just as a follower of Jesus too, I want to say, just being of the real Jesus and being of Jesus' kingdom and Jesus really picking you and all this deep stuff. Yeah, you will have doubts too, as I'm getting into that. You will have doubts, but overall, it's just a certain thing, a specialty from heaven and the real Jesus concerning his people. And you certain people this applies to, that Jesus just enables you to do what he's calling you to do, regardless of what things look like. And see, yes, I'm getting into that more as well too. But so these people, his certain followers who, certain people who are on the boat, all this stuff. Peter wanted proof of different things concerning different matters of, in the midst of the storm that some of you people may know and all that deep stuff. And it was windy and all this deep stuff. And Jesus is, off the boat and walking on water, supernatural miracle that I truly always believed and still do and will forever just bear witness with. But see, the stuff gets very much more deeper than he really did. The real Jesus did walk on water. And see, here's the thing too. Yeah. So, it was windy and all this deep stuff. And I may have mentioned this before in some form or way, but these people on the boat, Peter and all these other certain particular people, I want to say certain potential followers as well too, they were wondering if Jesus was a ghost and all this stuff. And Jesus said, "It is I," and then it gets into, I have a little information as well concerning this as well. So it was truly windy and all this, and these different circumstances and all that stuff as Jesus is, on the water and all that stuff. And basically, Peter is saying, "If it is you, command me to come on the water." And that's exactly what Jesus did, And see, the thing is, now Peter's walking on the water. You see what I'm saying? And he's doing a supernatural, this is a miracle, more or less, too. Because, see, a lot of you people, you don't really know the revelation of this stuff. I already really know this stuff, humbly speaking. But I'm just getting more into it by the Spirit of God. And yeah, so Peter is now walking on the water, and now he's about to meet Jesus, and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, then he sinks. He sinks because he takes his eyes off Jesus and focuses on the storm and all this other stuff that's going on concerning what it looks like and all this stuff. And then Peter begins to sink. And, and yeah, it even talks about this too. But, and then, Jesus, with Peter being his disciple and all that stuff, of course, Jesus stretches out his hand and, rescues him and all that deep stuff. But he also says, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" You know what I'm saying? And see, as I'm being led by the Spirit now, I'm not even really reading much more. But see, the thing about this stuff is that God and just, Jesus, I want to say too, they both play a big role in this. But, God truly wants you certain individuals to walk on water, just like Peter did, meeting the real Jesus. Because Jesus Christ, many of you may bear witness that, he did truly walk on water for the ones who truly are part of his kingdom and believe in this matter and all that stuff. Yeah, Jesus Christ, the real black Jesus, did walk on water. But see, Peter did too. Peter did. And some of you still may somewhat be familiar with that too and all that stuff. But yeah, Peter walked on water and he was getting to trying to, meet Jesus on the water and stuff. But he did sink because, he started looking at the circumstances and the wind and everything that was coming against him of what it looked like and all this stuff. But yeah, see, getting more into depth of what I was saying though, God wants a lot of you to walk on water concerning his kingdom. Because see, here's the thing, like, you're not going to see everything. You're not going to know everything. That's the thing with you people. You people want to know too much. And that's the thing, like, God will share certain things and other things God is entrusting in you to do. That's what you got to realize about God. But and even as I'm getting into Jesus, because Jesus operates very much similar to God, but they do operate very much differently and have different views on certain things as well too. But that's not more or less concerned in this particular I want to say message and all that. But anyhow, now even getting into Jesus. See, the thing is, Jesus told Peter, like, why did you doubt? Why oh, you of little faith and all this stuff. And see, if Peter, here's the revelation too. Here's more revelation as I'm being led by the Spirit. But if Peter would have truly just kept walking, no matter what it looked like and all this stuff. And I'm being very real, even being, a part of God's kingdom, part of Jesus' kingdom and chosen by Jesus, all this deep stuff. No, it's not easy to, walk on water and all that stuff. That's why he did sink, But see, if you notice too, as I'm being led by the Spirit, Jesus did not the real Jesus, like he's still, he cherished Peter and many other followers too, but specifically Peter in this situation. He still cherished Peter. Peter was still chosen by him and all that deep stuff. So yeah, you still will be like special to Jesus if he's truly I want to say God and him as well have picked you. If this is the case, then Jesus will still have a special concern with you, I want to say too. But see, here's the thing too as well, like Peter, like I said, if he would have just kept focusing on Jesus in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the wind and all this stuff coming up against him, all these different things that was trying to just get him not to do what Jesus was telling them, basically, then he would have really walked on water fully, is what I'm saying. But he sinked when he began to look at the storm, the wind, and all this other stuff that was coming up against him. And but overall, me saying these things, you certain people who are chosen by Jesus and all that deep stuff, It's not going to be easy to walk on water. And certain times you will sink in a way, as God is leading me to say. But other times you just like the overall, other more or less, the overall is what I'm saying. You're not going to be able to afford to be sinking. Like you got to keep your eyes on Jesus in the midst of certain sins you commit. And I'm not talking about high level sins. I'm talking about low to medium, I want to say sins, but anything, no, high level, no. You people who are chosen by Jesus, you cannot do at all. That's what I'm saying. And he's leading me to say all these things. But anyhow, too, yeah, Jesus, the real Jesus, is calling for you, certain individuals, to walk on water now. That's what I'm saying. And as I'm being led by the Spirit, yeah, you need to walk on water concerning him, concerning your circumstances, concerning everything that it looks like, these things that look so impossible on the surface. God wants you to walk on water with him, is what I'm telling you. And he wants you to meet his son too. In the midst of your problems, in the midst of circumstances, in the midst of uncertainty and all the stuff and everything that's coming up against you, he wants you to do his will. And Jesus is also saying these things too concerning you chosen people. Because once again, you will doubt too. You will have doubts, even being chosen by Jesus and all this stuff. You will have doubts, But see, here's the thing, like, God sees your deeper intentions with you, certain individuals concerning this matter. He does. I say these things numerous of times. I do. But yeah, overall though, Jesus wants you to walk on water. And see, this is overall like spiritual too, because no, you carnal people, like you're not gonna even believe in this type of matter because you're just not a part of this stuff. I'm being very real. But anyhow, yeah, this is on some spiritual stuff. Like the real Jesus wants you, particular people, to walk on water concerning your circumstances, concerning your doubt and all this stuff. He wants you to walk on water with him and for him as well, concerning his kingdom too, concerning Jesus's kingdom. And I'm just going to be very real too. Some of you are walking on water, and in others, you're sinking. And in others, you just won't walk on water at all. I'm being very real, And I'm truly being led by the Spirit of God concerning this. So you're in one of those three categories concerning this stuff, concerning walking on water. It's either you're sinking, you're walking on water, but you have doubt, or you're not going to walk on water at all. And you certain individuals who don't walk on water at all concerning the real Jesus and his kingdom, I mean, yeah, you're just going to have a hard time overcoming a lot of stuff too. I'm being real. You're not going to get to the miracles concerning your life, and you're not going to see the hands of Jesus in your life. You're not going to see Jesus at all. You're just going to sink too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, this stuff is truly not a game, because Jesus, really, the real Jesus, wants you to walk on water concerning your circumstances, concerning just the things that seem impossible for you to do for him as well. He wants you to do those things, is what I'm telling you. And this is not for everybody, because everybody will not be walking on water and all that stuff, And I've already mentioned this too. I have already truly walked on water with Jesus and all this stuff, but this stuff ain't for everybody, But, God is leading me to say this stuff concerning me now for some reason. But yeah, I have walked on water with Jesus already. And and I'm being very transparent too. Yeah, I have had doubts and all this stuff, and doubts will still come and all that stuff too. But overall, I'm just really chosen by Jesus and God and all this deep stuff, and just overall the kingdom of heaven, to do these things for him, and overall just, considering heaven and all this stuff and these different parts of heaven. But, I'm just being led by the Spirit saying these things. But yeah, like Jesus, the real Jesus, wants you certain people to walk on water. And yeah, man, you certain people who have doubts, who have not got off the boat and all that stuff. Jesus wants me to say, a lot of you people who are just on the boat and looking at other people concerning God, but you're not doing anything. You're just going to remain on the boat. That's what I'm saying. You're going to remain on the boat. And the storm's going to come and Jesus is going to rescue certain individuals, and others, you're just going to remain on the boat. And yeah, it's going to be getting windy and all this stuff. See, me and where I stand at with this stuff too. I mean, I'm with Peter. I'm basically with Peter with this stuff too. I'm being very real. I'm mellow though. That's the thing. So I have my own water I'm walking on with Jesus, and I have walked on water concerning with Jesus in many realms and also spiritually. But as I'm being led by the Spirit concerning these matters, humbly speaking, yeah, I have, and I will be walking on more water with Jesus too, and all this deep stuff. But anyhow, yeah, I'm with Peter concerning this stuff. That's where I'm similar to, is what I'm trying to say concerning walking on water with Jesus. And overall, Peter just he is just really a special follower. He's not no perfect follower and all this stuff. So people be getting caught up with, man. Peter did a lot of fun, like crazy stuff too. That's what I'm saying. I was gonna say funny stuff, but crazy, similar things. But anyhow, yeah, I'm like Peter when it comes to this walking on water stuff. Like, and I'm gonna be very real. Me, Mellow speaking, yeah, I'm gonna walk on the water. I don't really care about what it looks like and all that stuff with me. Now, even if I do sink, I'm still gonna keep swimming. That's the thing. That's why I say I'm like Peter. But see, you people, you're not even on the water at all. A lot of you people are still on the boat, because God does have interest in you certain people, but you're just on the boat. And a lot of you people will not be getting off the boat. And then some of you people will sink too. That's what I'm saying. You will sink, all that stuff. And it's not going to be sinking like Peter did. No, because Peter believed, and he still does, is what I'm saying, all this deep stuff. And that's why I'm saying I'm just like Peter with this stuff too, but I'm mellow. That's the thing. So like, I'm going to be very transparent too, as I'm getting closer to closing this stuff out. But yeah, I'm walking on water with Jesus, and where I stand at spiritually with this is, yeah, I'm like walking on the water, and I'm just walking on the water, but like Jesus is so ultimate in this area. Like, he walked on water, he truly did. And I'm walking on the water, and it's like I'm looking at things, but also I'm looking at him too. So it's like, yeah, I may sink in certain areas, and I may really sink too, is what I'm telling you. But overall, I'm not sinking to the point of not doing his will, or sinking into the point of not being a part of his kingdom. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm still a part of his kingdom. I'm still a part of heaven and all this deep stuff and all this stuff. But see, you other individuals know, certain individuals that I've mentioned and stuff like that, you're going to sink, and you're going to sink and drown type thing. That's what I'm saying. And that's another thing. I'm not drowning in all this stuff. And Peter did not drown in either and all that stuff either. But yeah, this stuff is very deep, because Jesus did walk on water, and Peter, he commanded Peter to meet him, and Peter was walking on water too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And this is supernatural as well. There were other people on the boat that did not do any of this stuff, and they just remained on the boat. And this stuff is overall, like, there's different spiritual matters concerning all that stuff too. These certain people. But anyhow, yeah, Jesus, yeah, he was truly walking on water, and yeah, he commanded Peter, and yeah, getting back to that too, Peter walked on water as well. And Peter, see, overall, this is dealing with the supernatural as well, whether you believe this or not. And Peter, yeah, he was walking on water, and then he sank when he took his eyes off Jesus. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm personally, me, this is just Mellow speaking, but I'm not gonna take my eyes off him. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Even if I sink, I'm not gonna drown. That's what I'm basically overall telling you. And some of you are somewhat in this category, and others, you're just not gonna be a part of this stuff, and you're not gonna even be walking on water at all. I'm being very real. And I'm being led by the Spirit saying this. But for who this is for, it is for, and it will bear witness with God's chosen people, and people who truly have that fire for God too, as he's leading me to say before I close this out. You will be walking on water, concerning with Jesus. This is supernatural, and concerning all these different things I've mentioned. This is not no natural thing and all this stuff you people getting caught up with. This is some supernatural stuff is what I'm telling you. But with all that being said, yeah, man, Peter was just one of those special followers that I really mess with, man. I really do, because Peter is, very much overlooked, man. I'm not gonna lie, Peter, he was more than just a fisherman and all this stuff. But yeah, a lot of you people don't even know this stuff anyways. But before I close this out, yeah, Peter was more than a fisherman and all this stuff. He did whack off the ear of a person, all this stuff. He did a lot of other stuff, for Jesus too. He had anger, certain anger for Jesus, righteous anger. And see, a lot of you people don't know about this stuff. But, humbly speaking, I'm saying it this way intentionally. That's what you gotta understand. And God is also leading me to say this stuff this way. But yeah, walking on water, I'm going to be walking on water at a more intense level, humbly speaking. And I'm just not going to take my eyes off Jesus overall is what I'm saying. I'm not going to sink and drown, but I may sink in certain aspects, but I'm not going to take my eyes off Jesus is what I'm trying to say overall. And I will continue to walk on water with Jesus on higher levels is what I'm saying. And some of you will, who are chosen by him as well, and called into this matter concerning his kingdom. But no, anybody else outside of that, no, you will not be. And all these other individuals, no, they will not be. I'm just being real. Everybody's not called to be doing this either. No, it's not. It doesn't matter what you people think of this. I'm trying to tell you, this stuff is supernatural too as well. And a lot of you, before I close this out too, a lot of you still will never believe this matter concerning Jesus. You people be thinking this is like, I don't know, you people be thinking this is some type of myth, but no, he really did walk on water. That's what you gotta understand, the real Jesus. And yeah, Peter did as well. That's what you gotta understand too. But with all that being said, this stuff is deep. And yeah, I'm gonna walk on water and on a very high intense level, and and I'm just gonna keep my eyes on the real Jesus is what I'm telling you, no matter the circumstance. And I pray this concerning you chosen people and who God truly has interest in concerning his kingdom. But with all that being said, I'm out.